As soon as that video was released, it got leaked to ESPN. Officially, Caitlin Clark's not playing.
Did you hear about the bombshell that just dropped in women's basketball? Caitlin Clark, the superstar everyone's been talking about, might be gearing up to sue Unrivaled. Yeah, you heard that right. The fact that they made the video 22 minutes, like, that was a choice. See, Unrivaled thought they could use Clark's name to sell tickets without her actually playing, but Clark wasn't having it. Now, fans are furious, demanding refunds, and it's turning into a total mess. Want to know how it all went down? You know that feeling when you're hyped for something amazing, and then it all falls apart. That's exactly what went down with Unrivaled and Caitlin Clark. Let me break it down for you. So, Unrivaled drops this mysterious 22-minute video out of nowhere. I don't even know. 6 months at this point, they've been announcing players. They always do these little videos. So with this note, a lot of people looked into it even further, including myself, because 11 a.m. to 1:22 a.m. is a very specific time frame and a very specific amount of minutes for a video to be 22 minutes. Obviously, we all know that Caitlin Clark is number 22, and that has been the person that has been the most anticipated person that people either want to see in Unrivaled or people are just waiting to see if she is going to do it or not. They're throwing the number 22 around like it's going out of style. Why 22? Well, that's Clark's jersey number. But here's the kicker. They never actually say her name, not once. It's like they're playing some weird basketball guessing game, and we're all supposed to figure it out. We saw the video. They were talking, oh, everything was about the number 22. Oh, a 22-minute long video. Oh, you know, from 11 to 11:22. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but maybe Clark was in on this whole thing. No, not even close. She had absolutely no idea they were using her like this. Can you imagine waking up one day and seeing your number plastered all over some league's promo without your permission? That's exactly what happened to Clark, and fans are not having it. One fan expressed their frustration saying, somebody said there's a section of Caitlin Clark fans that would have watched Unrivaled without her being a part of it, and they're risking turning those people off. Someone else said she's been used in her fans since she stepped foot in the W. That just doesn't stop. LOL. They know who brings in views and puts asses in seats. So how did Clark catch Unrivaled red-handed in their little scheme? Well, her team was watching this whole circus unfold. And let me tell you, they were not happy campers. Not one bit. It's like Unrivaled thought they could just use Clark's identity without any consequences. A big mistake. And that was lying to the people in the media, and that was lying to people all across the country. They was lying, telling bold-faced lies, talking about Caitlin was going to come, just like I heard. I bet you a lot of other people heard and she was going to come. And that was not the case. But here's where it gets really interesting. What does Clark do when she finds out? She doesn't say a word, no angry tweets, no press conferences, nothing, just total silence. And you know what? That silence spoke louder than any statement ever could. It's like she was saying, I see what you're doing and I'm not playing along. And it's interesting because I do think that Caitlin Clark was probably okay. I think she was probably okay all the promotion because she's, you know what? She seems to be okay promoting on her players as she always does. But I do think that she probably just said, you know what? This time this is too much. This is too much. I'm not letting them continue. But Unrivaled, they just couldn't take the hint. They kept pushing and pushing, dropping more clues about Clark joining their league. It's like they were a kid poking a sleeping bear, thinking it was all fun and games. But we all know how that usually ends up, right? The reality is that they did everything they could to make it seem like Caitlin Clark was in the league. Unrivaled did everything they could with all their marketing to make it seem like Caitlin Clark was in the league, to try and gain interest in the league. The craziest part is how long this went on. Unrivaled just kept at it day after day, week after week. They were so sure they could get Clark to play along eventually, but they completely underestimated her. Clark wasn't about to let someone else control her narrative or use her name for their game, because this was ridiculous. From that 22-minute video, from all of the stuff that they did, we need explanations explaining why did y'all lie to the nation. Y'all made it seem like Caitlin Clark was coming to the damn league. Y'all was telling people in the media Caitlin Clark was on the way. So there you have it. Unrivaled thought they were being clever with their little guessing game, but in the end, they just ended up looking desperate and frankly a little shady. And Clark, she showed everyone that sometimes the most powerful move is to not play the game at all. Remember how I said Clark wasn't playing along? Well, Unrivaled didn't get the memo. They decided to go all in with their next move. But here's the thing. They had no idea they were about to walk right into Clark's trap. What happened next? It's the kind of thing that makes you realize why some players are legends, both on and off the court. So Unrivaled has been playing this guessing game for weeks, right? They're dropping hints, teasing everyone about Clark joining their league. But then they make this huge announcement that changes everything. They say they're going to reveal 2 mystery players. Can you imagine the buzz? Everyone's thinking this is it. Clark's finally joining. As soon as that announcement drops, something totally unexpected happens. You know what Clark does? She doesn't say a word herself. Nope. Instead, her team leaks to ESPN that she's not playing. Just like that, Unrivaled's whole plan falls apart. It's like watching a perfect alley-oop, except Clark's the one blocking the shot. You know, we're not even going to fill it up. We're going to release 2 mystery players to keep intrigue. As soon as that video was released, it got leaked to ESPN. Officially, Caitlin Clark's not playing. So no matter what they had done in their promotion, no matter what they had done to almost leave the door open, and for Caitlin Clark to leave the door open for herself playing, the second the mystery players got announced, it was over. She was done. There was no coming back from that. Now you might be wondering, why did Clark choose this exact moment to speak up? Well, it's all about timing. See, Clark realized what Unrivaled was really up to. They weren't just hyping her for a few weeks. They were planning to drag this out for months, use her name to sell tickets all the way until December. Can you believe it? They thought they could just ride the Clark wave without her actually being there. Because like these mystery players aren't probably going to be picked until Christmas. She's probably like, I am not letting this drag on 3 months of will she, won't she? I'm not letting them. Like, I can guarantee you people come up to her in person, that people come up to her in person and keep asking about Unrivaled. She's probably like, I'm not doing another 3 months of this. Let me just chill. But Clark, she wasn't having any of it. She saw right through their game plan. And just when Unrivaled thought they had everyone hooked, just when they were about to make their big reveal, Clark pulls the plug. She basically said, game over, I'm not playing. Now, or someone on our team was like, nah, we're done. We're done with this. You're not getting any more promotion out of us. We are stopping this right now. We are stopping any potential rumors of Caitlin Clark coming back. We're coming into this draft, and we are going to basically be saying, yeah, this is it. This is it. There's not going to be any chance of her playing. We're done. It's like Clark was 3 steps ahead the whole time. While Unrivaled was busy playing checkers, Clark was playing chess. She let them think they had the upper hand, let them build up all this hype. And then at the perfect moment, she shut it all down, especially the timing. The second Unrivaled said, you know what, we actually don't have our last 2 players, and basically we're leaving the door open. We're going to still try to be convincing players to go. She was like, no, I'm not letting this drag on. I'm not letting this drag on. I'm golfing. I'm doing all these other events. I'm doing working out in the off season. I'm doing this other stuff. I'm nipping this in the bud right now. I'm stopping this right now. And that is what happened. That is now what has happened with. You know what's really impressive? Clark didn't just protect herself here. She stood up for all athletes by saying no to Unrivaled. She's sending a message that says, you can't just use an athlete's name and reputation without their permission. It's a power move that could change how leagues and players interact in the future. So there you have it. Unrivaled thought they were pulling off some master plan. But in the end, Clark showed them and everyone else who's really in control. She proved that sometimes the biggest statement you can make is knowing when to walk away. And let me tell you, the sports world is definitely taking notice. I'm stopping this right now. And that is what happened. That is now what has happened with Caitlin Clark. Clark walked away, but the fans, they're charging in like an angry mob. You think Unrivaled's master plan backfired before? Just wait until you hear what's happening now. We're talking about a fan revolt so intense, it's making Unrivaled wish they never even heard the name Caitlin Clark. Now, some Caitlin Clark fans, and I was seeing tweets about this, are kind of upset that they did that because it definitely was a clickbait of sorts. Ticket sales. That's what all of this was about. That's what the trolley was about. That's what everything was about. But now, 20 people is going to want a refund because Caitlin Clark threw a monkey wrench in their plan. And Unrivaled, they're in a tough spot. Remember how they sold out their pre-sale tickets in just 30 minutes? That was all because of the Clark hype. Now they're stuck. Do they give refunds and lose all that money? Or do they refuse and risk making fans even angrier? Look, a minute after this was dropped. Boom, boom. Well, y'all see that? Y'all see that? Did we all catch that? Experts are saying this could really hurt Unrivaled in the long run. It's not just about losing money on refunds. This whole mess has created a huge trust issue. Fans are going to think twice before believing anything Unrivaled says from now on. Ticket sales. That's why they never told us who the two players was, because they wanted to sell them damn tickets. But what's Unrivaled going to do? They can't just ignore this. The longer they wait, the worse it gets. Every minute that passes, more fans are jumping on social media, sharing their anger and calling for action. It's like watching a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger, and that was lying to the people in the media, and that was lying to people all across the country. They was lying, telling bold-faced lies. It's talking about Caitlyn was going to come just like I heard. I bet you a lot of other people heard that she was going to come, and that was not the case. In the end, Unrivaled's big plan to use Clark's name has completely backfired. Instead of creating excitement, they've created chaos. Instead of bringing in fans, they're pushing them away. It's a PR nightmare that's showing no signs of slowing down. And all because they thought they could use Caitlyn Clark's star power without her permission. Big mistake, huge. Unrivaled thought they were pulling off some master plan. But here's the thing, Clark was playing 4D chess the whole time. Think about it. How did she manage to come out on top without saying a word? The answer is going to blow your mind. Remember when Clark said, we'll see about playing in Unrivaled? Everyone thought that meant she was considering it. But here's the truth. In Clark's world, we'll see usually means no way. So why did she play along for so long? It's all about strategy. But then she was asked about 3 weeks ago. She was like, oh, I can't say either way. So everyone thought that meant, you know what? She's gone from, oh, I'm not playing to, yeah, you know, I'm probably going to play. She was like, we'll see. To be fair, anytime Caitlyn Clark says we'll see, it's probably a no at this stage. Clark knew exactly what she was doing from the start. By staying quiet, she let Unrivaled dig their own grave. They kept using her name, thinking she might join. And all the while, Clark was just waiting for the right moment to strike. It's like watching a master predator stalking its prey. As soon as the news hit that Clark wasn't playing, social media went wild. We're not just talking about a few angry tweets here and there. This was a full-on digital meltdown. Fans who bought tickets thinking they'd see Clark play. They're not just disappointed, they're furious. Yes, they did it for ticket sales. It's clear as day. They did it to sell tickets. What did they just say on their Twitter account? Let's pull up their Twitter right now. Unrivaled did this to sell tickets. It's clear as day. It's clear as day. That's why they didn't tell us nothing. That's why. And these fans aren't just complaining, they're demanding action. Refunds are at the top of their list, but it doesn't stop there. People are calling for a full-on boycott of Unrivaled. Can you imagine a league that hasn't even played its first game and fans are already saying they're done with it? And as of right now, we shall boycott Unrivaled, because that's what's ridiculous. From that 22-minute video, from all of the stuff that they did, we need explanations explaining why did y'all lie to the nation. But why are fans so angry? It's simple. They feel lied to. Unrivaled used Clark's name and number to build up all this hype. They got people excited, got them to buy tickets, all based on the idea that Clark might play. And now that she's not, fans feel like they've been tricked. As far as the organization of it and the running of it, it does not seem to be ideal. Let's be real. It does not seem to be the most well-planned out thing in the world. Now here's where it gets really wild. Some fans are actually calling for Clark to sue Unrivaled. Yeah, you heard that right. They want her to take the league to court for using her name without permission. It's like they're not just supporting Clark, they're ready to go to war for her.